Hi, today what I've got to look at is this IBM PS2 model L40 SX. Now I don't know much about this machine, not actually particularly familiar with the IBM portables, but I believe this is going to be a 386 something, but either way, I bought it with my absolute favourite condition, broken. So yeah, let's take it over to the bench and dive in and see what we got. Alrighty, over on the bench, and I've had to move the camera quite a bit ways up because this is a big boy. It is, what's the 33 by 27 centimeters. That is a chunky lad. So, anywho, let's flip it open here and we can see what we're working with. So we've got a nice keyboard, pretty good feel to it actually. Very dirty. That definitely was not taken care of. And we've got an array of switches, and I think those are LCD displays for different things. They're all very black at the moment though, so I'm not sure what'll happen when they turn on. A and an M switch, I don't know. And this appears to be a monochrome screen, and we've got contrast and brightness sliders there, but we've also got a really nice looking light reflecting on that badge there, IBM model L40 SX. Yeah, that's gorgeous. But yeah, I reckon we need to turn this on. So what I've done, if we have a look on the bottom, it actually has no labels, so it's a mystery as to what it actually runs on. For starters, I just want to point out that the battery door is gone. There's a little bit of dirt there. I'm gonna have to try to rebuild this latch like the other ones, and probably the pin thingies there so it'll actually stay on. But if we look down inside there, I don't know if you can see that, get my little pocket torch out and we'll look down inside there. You can't really see, I'll have to show you later, but those battery terminals are very gone. Let's see if you can. Yeah, super duper blue. Not happy. So, that will need addressing, and obviously I don't have the battery for it, so that will need addressing also. Yes, so we've got power here, and it is a rather big plug. Let's put the light down there. Yeah, look at that. That's a chunky boy. Looks like it's going to be about 3 or 3.5 mil maybe. I've got a IBM supply from a different IBM laptop, which is 15 volts at 1.9 amp, and it has a similarly chunky looking plug, and it looks like it does fit, but the barrel here is a bit too bulbous, and it only goes so far, and it doesn't actually properly sit, because that is pretty deep in there. So what I've got otherwise to try is this. This is my universal car charger, but I've got a plug that says 15 volts, and it also has a big chunky boy plug on it there, and it does actually press in pretty nicely. So I think we're going to go with that, and I'll just feed this 12 volts from my bench supply. So let's give that a shot. So we want to plug positive up there, negative on the sides. Let's flip this around. And we've got a power switch here. Give that power supply some power. Let's see what we get. Oh, okay, so we've already got a battery indicator. That's cool. I don't know if that's coming through. Yeah, there you go. A little battery light. Oops. None of the other indicators. Let's see what happens when we hit power. Okay, we've got some indicators. Kind of sounds like a hard drive's turning on. Oh yeah, hard drive's been up. A hard drive light here. Nothing on display. Actually, the display is on. But no, there's nothing on there though. Oh, the floppy drive just seeked. Sounds like it's booting. Yeah. Look at that. Let's do nothing there. I think the display needs some work on this. It sounded like it wanted to boot. I tried booting, but definitely nothing on this display. Interesting, okay. I wonder if we've got VGA out, because we do have a VGA port back here. Let's see if we get anything. So I need a VGA cable. Okay, so we've got video going into the OSSC, and on screen there we have the Elgato just bitching that there's no display because it has no sync. But if we flick this on now, let's see what happens. So we've got backlight. Hydro. Oh, backlight turned off. Oh, hey, look at that. Okay, 4. Counting. 8 meg. Hey, this is pretty specced up. 12. 16 meg of RAM. Woohoo! 161, that's battery. 163 is time and date not set. Those are expected. Press F1. Tries to boot. I mean, that's pretty much working. So I'm guessing the hard drive's not working. That kind of makes sense. I wonder if I have a DOS boot disk handy. Let's see if one of these works. Don't know if the floppy drive will work. Maybe I should give that a clean first, hey? Considering how disgusting it is. Trying to boot from the cleaning disk. No bueno. That makes sense though. Alright, give it up. Oh, it's a bit tight. Let's pop in the DOS boot and see how it goes. Non-system disk. Okay, well, I mean, it picked up that it's actually a working disk. Maybe I need to go and recreate that. So I'll be back in a minute. Alright, well, for some reason, disk 1 here was actually disk 3. Anyway, I just reformatted this and put disk 1 of the install media back on there. So let's give that a try again. Oh yeah, that actually looks like it's loading. What the hell? Incredibly slowly. There we go, starting MS-DOS. Look at that! This thing is working. We've got a little floppy disk activity indicator there as well. I think that floppy drive needs a proper service though. It's not loading as speedily as it should. Oh. And it rebooted. That's odd. Okay, well. Black screen. And it's rebooted again. Yeah. I don't think it's going to get anywhere. But, very good sign that, sign of life. That's pretty cool. Okay, so there's obviously something wrong with the screen. If we flick that back on without the power back on again, sorry, without the video in, you can see, yeah, we do just have a completely blank screen. There is a backlight, but nothing actually on, and it doesn't seem to matter what angle. Like you can't, with these displays, you can often, sit at a different angle and see, and it doesn't seem to matter with which knobs that I twiddle. Nothing on the display, but it is booting, and at 16 meg of RAM, that seems excessive for a machine of this age, so this thing might have some upgrades in it. We'll have to see. But yeah, I guess for now, let's Let's pop it open and take a look inside. Right, now I know this is very unlike me, but I actually had a quick look up on how to disassemble this because there's no real obvious way to get in except for these 3 screw holes. So, and that is exactly what we do. So if we pry this up, these little caps, like so, there's just 1 screw underneath there. And flip it over. We can then, very carefully, and apparently you have to press the buttons in all the way to lift the screen up, otherwise it takes it with you, but we can then, yeah, we can lift the keyboard. Oh, look at that. Ooh, okay. What do we have here? I can see 2 sticks of RAM. Oh, look at that. So there's our Intel i386 SX running at 20 megahertz and a IIT 3C87 33 megahertz. So that is our math coprocessor. This thing is spec'd out. Look at that. Huh. I'm going to have to look up the specs of what this comes with out of the box, because I don't think it comes with that. Okay. I can already see some dodgy looking capacitors there, actually. The solder mask on the underside of that is looking a little bit dull, not shining like it should be. Look, with all these other ones, it's looking dull, which means these caps have probably leaked. Which, I mean, is pretty much expected of a machine of this era, but yeah. Okay, let's get the keyboard out. Does this keyboard have a latch? No, it doesn't. These just pull up. Oh, they've got little pull straps as well, so let's do that. Okay. Oh yeah, that needs a good clean. What about this one? Oh, that one didn't want to come out. Oh yeah, look at that. The you can see that the connectors on here are pretty horrible. So give those a clean before I pop it back in, but let's pop that keyboard off to the side. Let's see what we see. So I've got a couple of screws there. They look like they're attached to a metal. So there are screws on the back here inside these little covers, so I think I need to take those off next. As you can see, I looked up the instructions, but I kind of stopped reading after the first spot. So that one, and that one. Let's take those out quickly. Yeah, lift up now. Yes. Nice, okay. Not as much as I would like. Looks like... So I can see here there's some clips there. So it looks like it will have to come that way fully. So I'm just gonna... Oh yeah, just need it to be a bit more forceful. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Oh, and that's attached to the front here. So that'd be the ribbon for all these selectors. So let's detach that. There is a ribbon here. So there's these little locking bars, and that attaches for the lights. So detach those. And then this just lifts out. Ooh. Oh, that's... yeah. Not good. Bad corrosion. Bad. Oh, yep. That'll be that NiCad right there. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, you can see... Oh, God. Yeah, look at the corrosion on those. I have to turn this way. Look at the corrosion on those battery terminals. Woof. That is blue. And that's not the big blue that IBM's known for. Okay. God, I can see a third battery over here. What is that? Jeez, okay. So here's our hard drive. It certainly looks like an original IBM part. Toshiba. Yeah, I don't know if anyone knows what that is. Probably go and look it up. HDD 2216. Okay. And like I said, there's another battery here. Big tag on it. Warning, warning. I have a battery. It will leak all over your laptop. So, grounding strap? No, I don't know what that is. there's our floppy drive. Let's take that guy out. That just looks like a regular old floppy drive. Although it does have the 34-pin laptop floppy and a specific IBM button. Cool, okay. And what do we see? Yeah, look at that. We've got, this looks like our power supply section because we've got a couple of big filter caps and a couple of smaller filter caps that all look like they've bulged. And some beefy heatsink back here with some power regulation stuff. Yeah, 7805 there. Some other stuff I don't recognize, but I'm sure would be related. This looks like it'd probably be a switching controller. And there's our coil. Don't know what this little subboard does. It's interesting. There's another little subboard over here, which you probably can't see, but trust me, it's there. Got a lot of WDC, Western Digital Corporation chips. There's one here, one there, one up here. Sure, this would be some custom IBM glue ASIC, and just a buttload of 7.4 logic. See, this cap here as well has that. It's not avert leakage corrosion, but the solder traces there have dulled significantly, which usually means that cap has leaked as well. And I mean, what we were seeing before, where it was trying to load and then it got to a certain point and then kind of died and rebooted, I'd expect that to be a power issue where it just didn't have enough, or the capacitance in the power section couldn't provide enough ongoing power to maintain the system. So I reckon we should just be able to change these caps and see how that goes, but I'll probably have to take this screen apart as well to figure out why we're not getting display there. But let's do this board first. And it actually looks like, with the exception of these four, should be able to do all these little guys on top, because they're through-hole components, but their legs are bent down and they are soldered flush to the top here. So let's warm up the iron and yeah, get to work taking some of these off and seeing if we've got replacements for them. Actually, while the iron's warming up, let's have a look at this RAM. So look at that, double-sided Cubig brand, and these are HM514100. I'm not sure. I'll have to look that up and put the little down the bottom here. But I can tell, based on the resistors on the side, that these are RAM that would specifically work with IBMs because they have all the presence detect stuff built in. But I can also see some what looks like memory on the system here, on the system board here. So maybe this system has onboard RAM, which is interesting. Copyright IBM Corp 1990, and let's take a look at some date codes around the shop. Yeah, 91, 9105, 5th week 91. That one's 32, so it's the 32nd week of 91. There you go, 1891, well 9118, so 18th week of 91. Yes, I'm guessing would be 27 of 91, 33 of 91, so I'm going to say this is from either very late 1991 or early 1992. Pretty cool. Let's grab some wick and let's see about removing some of these. I'm going to go for one of these ones that looks actually okay. And that is not budging. This is old solder, so let's flow some new stuff in there. Ooh, yeah, and the stink of melting electrolyte. Oh, yeah. Yeah, these have definitely leaked that. Oh, God, I hate that smell. All right. While I'm at it, let's get my fan extractor on. Just my homemade one. Try and get some of that smoke away from my face. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so we've got... Oh, that's a tiny boy. The Nichicon 10 microfarad, 25 volt. I think this is going to be a whole slew of problems, so I'm going to brush through the recapping really quickly. Well, really quickly for you, probably going to take me hours. And I'll come back once this is fully recapped and hopefully ready to go for the next stage. Alrighty, so I have completed the recapping. Actually, I've put everything back together a little bit prematurely. I forgot to show you all. But I replaced all of the capacitors. These ones, I didn't have the right height ones, so I've just had to fold those down so that the floppy drive can sit down on top of everything. That went poorly. Every single one of these guys, these little 10 microfarad, they had all leaked. Most of these hundreds had leaked as well. These big ones, they leaked. Everything was gone. It was disgusting. And though I thought they were surface mounted, they were actually all through hole. And yeah, it was just an absolute pain getting them out. Probably took, I think, all up about 2-3 hours of just struggling. But they're all replaced now. Like, as you can see, I've just kind of slapped it all back together. There's a couple there, nice and clean. And I forgot that this was an IBM, and IBM, the PS2 models especially, you need to set them up. They don't have a traditional BIOS of sorts. So what I have instead is I made a reference diskette, which has the software you need to boot, well, not to boot, but to set up, to configure these machines. So I reckon if we pop that in, I'd actually even try to pop the hard drive in and see if it gets detected. So that goes that way. Let's do that. I doubt this will get detected because of just because of the age of it, but you never know. Worth a shot. Okay. So if we pop that there, flip this over, get our power lead back in, and see what we see. Spinning up the drive, we've got boot. That's good. Means I didn't mess up any of those caps. Disk. That's good. Actually, that seek sounded more powerful. Alright, yeah, and it's booting straight in there. Not waiting for me to press F1 because it's recognized that it is a reference disk. So that's good too. Sounds like it's loading nicely. Awesome, look at that. PS2 model L40 SX. Excellent, alright. I'm shocked that floppy drives just works. That's absolutely awesome, especially PS2 floppy drives of this era. They are notorious for dying. Anyway, let's boot in. Probably give me the error message that we were getting, the 161163. That'll be the battery dead and it'll need time and date set. Yep, there's the 161. Yep, that's fine. No, I don't want to make a copy. Set time and date, yep. Yeah, that'll do. That doesn't matter that much. Okay, automatic configuration is being run. Let's see if it detects everything. Hopefully it'll pick up the hard drive, but what we'll do is after this restarts, because it always restarts after an automatic config, we will boot back into the disk and go into the settings. Yep, there's the reset. And then we can verify what it's showing us. Hmm. 1790. I am not familiar with that code. I'd have to look that one up. I'm gonna guess that's, hard drive failure. It does look like it's trying to read the disk. And failing. And now it's booting off the floppy. Hard drive error. Yep. Main error and then test, and we'll try to figure out what's wrong with it. I mean, it's going to be dead, but we'll see. Set configuration, yep. Okay, and view. So let's see what we've got. Alright, so 18 meg total. So that means, yeah, it does have that 2 megabytes on board. That'll be the memory here. And then I'm guessing those are 2 8 megabyte sticks. That's really cool. That's pretty specced out for a 386 of this era as well. That's really impressive, actually. Very nice. 1.44 meg. Math coprocessor is installed, as we saw there. Has the IIT 3C87 SX. Serial parallel, and it has detected the hard drive. Okay. So let's get back out of there, and we'll go down to test, and let's run some tests on that drive and see what it says. Yes, that looks correct. Testing, alright. Give this a run through and see what it says. Set economy, switch to manual. Oh, that's what must be what this is. Sure. Huh, neat. That's cool. Can like... This may take up to 18 minutes. Ah, bloody hell. I will skip through this, I suppose. Hard drive test. This is the one that we're looking for. Come on, baby. Let's see what's wrong. Well, if it can detect what's wrong. Ooh, yep. Track said head and sector read error. That'll do it. Guessing I'm just going to have to replace that. I'll see if I can replace that with a CF card, I guess. Like a CF to IDE adapter. I've got a million of them here, so... Yeah, bummer. No. I might abort the tests here and dive into the screen. See if we can try to figure out what's wrong with that. Let's actually plug it in now that we've got all the caps on the mainboard repaired and see if it is still faulty. Alright, I'm going to have to hold this, but let's hit power and see what we see. Okay, turn backlight's back on, and we still just have a black screen. Not ideal. And yeah, these controls still aren't doing anything. That one's adjusting the backlight brightness, but the contrast is doing nothing. That sucks. Okay. Well, let's I reckon we should take this screen apart and see what we can see inside of it. So let's do that. Okay. Screen's on the bench, the laptop parts are off to the side, I've just tied it up a little bit, and this looks like we only have 2 available fasteners, and they're actually, I don't know if you can see there, they are, look at that, that is, if you want to focus down there, take my word for it, they're a security bit. So it actually looks like they're Torx security bits, and I think, just judging from the side, it's going to be a T9. T9's a bit loose. I think 11's going to be too big. Yep, so it's a 10. T10 Torx security bit. So let's pop those out. Oh, really? Oh, that plastic screw. Yeah, there you go. T10 Torx. How interesting. Don't know why they'd have a T10 Torx just there, but Philips everywhere else. But there you go. Okay, now I have no idea. So let's see about splitting this somehow. Yeah, okay. So I've got some caps here that will probably need replacing. They are 10 microfarad 35 volt. Yeah, should have plenty of those. And that will be the inverter board. there. And this looks like a Toshiba panel. If I had to take a guess. Alright, let's pop the inverter out. This board has these potentiometers are carbon contacts. So let's drop those out. That one's the brightness, and this one is the contrast, if I remember correctly. Now the brightness looked like it was working, but the contrast did not. Possibly I can just measure. Maybe that just needs a good clean. Yeah, so let's take a look at that. You can see the carbon contacts here and on this one. So this one was working. This one was not, but it might be something else in here. There are a lot of odd-looking capacitors, although I can't see any signs of corrosion. I can also see two fuses that I'm going to want to test out. Another cap down here. Yeah, let's separate this shield off there as well. I think I can get here. Nice. All right. Okay. All right, let's check those fuses first. So fuse. Always a good thing to test. Let's see, what do we got? Yep, a few ohms, that's fine. And it's not ideal, but it's not terrible. Let's give it a proper test on the actual terminals here. Yeah, 1.3 ohms, that's fine. Okay, so that's just the probe contact. Yeah. Those fuses are fine. Okay, so let's test these potentiometers. So they have 1, 2, 3, and a disconnected pin. So that'll be... I'm guessing that they're going to be the same as a regular potentiometer. So they'll be the two outsides will have the full resistance, 8.9k. I'm going to guess that will be maybe a 10k pot. And then there'll be a wiper. So that is 10 ohms on that side. And if I switch that all the way to the other side, that should be the full. Yeah. So yeah, it's the same as a regular potentiometer, and it is actually working fine where, yeah, it's wiping from side to side. All right, let's try this one as well. So that should be between 1 and 3. We get the full range. Whoa, 200k. Nice. And then between 3 and 1, we get the 200. And then if we wipe down, it will decrease. Yeah, so these are working fine. Okay. That's actually kind of cool how they're implemented. Let's give them a clean regardless though. So I'll just spray a bit of contact clean on them and wipe them back and forth while that's still wet. Get my bloody probes to work properly. And let's drag that down. And yeah, you can see it decreasing pretty linearly. So that's working quite well. And then down at the bottom, you get pretty close to direct line. And then right at the top, you get pretty close to the full resistance. Okay, not bad. Let's test. Let's check some of these caps as well. I don't think there'll be a problem with the backlight because the backlight looked fine, so I'm going to guess there's a problem somewhere else on the board. But it could also affect the driving of the LCD because we weren't seeing anything on there, and the contrast will actually impact how the LCD itself draws. Alright, now we want to check some of these components. So there's the capacitors here. Got a choke there. This looks like a this would be the power supply for the backlight, so that'll be converting the voltage in, whatever that ends up being, up to the probably 1,000 or so that the inverted backlight tube on this would need. Yeah, okay, so let's check these caps and probably these two and verify that they're all working. There's a diode there that I'll probably want to test as well, so let's do that one first. Let's go in diode mode. Check it one way. Nothing. Check it the other way. And we should have 0.2 is a little bit low. But it does appear to be dioding where it only flows in one direction. So I'm going to let that pass for now. But let's test these capacitors. So let's go. Well, I just lost a whole bunch of footage. I didn't realize the camera just stopped recording for some reason. So that's fun. Where I got to was I pulled the whole screen apart, extracted the, this is the inverter board, tested these potentiometers. So this one is the, was on the front of the screen, so that's the brightness that was working fine, and this is the contrast that did appear to be doing nothing. These are just potentiometers. This one appears to be a 10K, and that is a 200K. They're both working fine. I gave them a clean anyway. And now what I'm doing is just, I tested these two fuses there, they're fine as well. Tested a whole bunch of other stuff here. This board looks fine. I'm just going to replace these capacitors because of their age, and I have the spares in stock, so I'm just going to rip through that really quickly, replace those, pop it back in, give it a quick test, but I don't expect that to do anything because they look fine. So let's get to that really quickly. Ooh. So when you have a capacitor, like so, and you put some heat to it and you hear a sizzle, bad sign. That means it has actually leaked. So yeah, even though it doesn't look like it's leaked, it most definitely has, and it is sizzling. That is the capacitor juice boiling away. So let's take that one off. Okay, yeah, there you go. Leaked and horrid. So, okay, I was wrong. Some of these caps have leaked. There you go, and that is why looks can be deceiving. Just because it doesn't look like it's leaked, doesn't mean it hasn't. Alright, so let's move these junk caps out the way. Let's put this back on. Okay, 100%, good enough. There was a little bit of corrosion, I should have noticed that. I don't know if you're getting that blue there, I should have noticed that when I took it off, but I completely missed it. So that is on me, but I reckon I'll test it with this, oops, with this back in there for now. I think that goes that way. And then it moves this way. So, oops, I forgot to plug those connectors in. But yeah, I'm going to test it with this because those are obviously dead. So let's see how that goes. And hopefully those are fine. But, yeah, let's pop this back together and see how we go. So let's flip this back. Let's not put it actually back together for now though. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to rest the motherboard really haphazardly off the edge here and plug it all back in like this. And we'll see how we go. Let's see what we see. Hey, look at that. There's our brightness and our video, and we can see on the screen now. Beautiful. That is freaking awesome. Hey, look at that. A little bit of ghosting on the screen, but all in all, that looks Absolutely terrific. I am so pleased with how that's come up. Fantastic. All right, well, that's working. So I'm going to power this off and probably put this laptop back together, but not before giving it a really good clean because it is disgusting. So I'm going to take it back apart, give everything a really good wipe down with some Windex, and hopefully the next time you see this, this will be back in one piece. Okay, it's been a little bit since I worked on the IBM here. I just actually got over COVID, so I'm a little bit but the final test I wanted to do just before finishing off the video is making sure that it can boot DOS, because we got it booting into the reference disk, but not actually back into DOS, and I want to see if that boot loop is gone. So I have here just a DOS 622 boot disk that I made. So it's not the install media, it's actually booting into DOS directly, and got OSSC up on screen. So let's hit power and see what we see. There we go, turning on. Switching over to the VGA, there was the memory count. Still the same errors because I haven't changed the BIOS battery. I need to rebuild that or replace it with something. But now we press F1. Still takes a little bit to get started. I do think I still need to rebuild or clean out that floppy drive. Especially trying to get the disk in and out, it's getting stuck. So I think the whole mechanism needs a good clean. But I mean, I'm still shocked that it can read disks just in general. So, but there we go, it's starting to kick in, starting MS-DOS. Let's see if it'll actually boot this time. There we go, asking for the date and time. So, again, we don't have a real-time battery clock, real-time clock battery, so I don't really care, but there we go. If we do a, I don't know why I did A. There is that disk, and yeah, it's DOS. There's nothing much to report. It's obviously not going to be able to recognize the hard drive. Yeah, so the hard drive is not working at all. But yeah, I'll have to come back and replace that and get a proper system in here. Maybe I can get Windows 3, 3.1 on there. Do some benchmarks, games, see what we can do. Check it out. But yeah, no, that's booting. It's working. Perfect. I couldn't be happier with this laptop. Alright, so that is the IBM PS2 model L40 SX, all repaired and working again, and I am so glad this turned out absolutely beautifully. It cleaned up really well. Apart from the door and the battery being missing, this really has no blemishes whatsoever. That screen turned out fantastically with the recap. The keyboard cleaned up really excellently. Unfortunately, I just wasn't able to get that hard drive working, but I think I'll do another video after this at some point where I replace that hard drive, probably with a CF to IDE adapter, and just run through some usage, see if we can do some benchmarks and some, play some games maybe on it, see what that 387 and the boosted RAM can really do. But yeah, like I said, really happy with how this turned out, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. Yeah, stick around for the next video. I'll see you next time.